Let's start out today with a couple more examples of some great 3S standardization and shining. Peter in the door department had labeling improved on their coat machines and rail profiler, making it easier to see and understand relevant information. Profile pictures were added as visual aids to help identify references easier. And color match coding helps to identify the current profiles loaded onto the machine due to the matching backer boards. The profiles next to the machine have also been updated to be in the correct order so as to match the machine's stacking order. Over in assembly, they have also improved their face frame tool drawers by standardizing the place in which their tools go. And the drawer box team made a new home for their writing utensils and other small tools. Due to standardizing the place in which these items are placed and adding clearly marked labels, they can now easily be found when needed, because they are put in the same place every time. Excellent work. Tip: when you are doing 3S, check clearly marked areas to make sure the items that should be there are actually there. It really doesn't help us during production time if we go to grab an item from its home position only to find out it's not there. See anything wrong with these pictures? Can you spot the missing item? The door department recently got an awesome new edger, capable of doing some great stuff. There was one thing on it though that bugged the operators a bit. The crush calibration ruler was placed quite a distance from the plexiglass reader mark. This made it so that when the crush was being set, it was very easy to vary 1/16 of an inch or more, based simply on the varying eye levels that different operators may be looking from. As you can see here, by moving up and down, the apparent measurement changes significantly. This could result in items slipping as they go through the edger due to faulty crush settings, leading to rework or more processing downstream to fix faulty edges. To fix this, they had a new high contrast ruler installed that brought the measurement marks much closer to the window. Now, even if the eye level is changed, the measurement stays very close to the same value. They also added some great visual aids to this machine to make blade changeovers easier. By color coding the blade sets to match the positions on the machine, they can be more sure to put the correct heads on the correct spindles, reducing the risk of serious defects and/or damage to the machine.
Here at QualityCraft, we believe in the building up of character of our fellow man, and we encourage this through being quality-minded, holding people accountable, being team players, and having integrity. So what is personal character? The etymology of character is fairly self-explanatory. It comes from the Greek character for engraved mark, or symbol, or imprint on the soul. It can even be traced back to words like engrave, a pointed stake, and a scrape or scratch. Harry Clay Trumbull once said, "Character is the visible token by which a thing is distinguished from every other thing with which it might otherwise be confounded." Or in other words, it's the mark you make that sets you apart. William Bruce in 1908 wrote, "Above all, character includes a choice, a settled habit or bent of will, so that it can be seen in its outcome and conduct. Character takes up the raw material of nature and temperament and weaves it into the strong, well-knit texture of a fully moralized manhood." There are many things that engrave our character upon the clay of our lives, and shape our character for better and for worse into a unique set of scratches and grooves. So long as we live, our character is in the formative state, and whether we be counted strong or weak, our characteristics are continually being reshaped and redirected by those whom we newly come to know and admire, or with whom we are newly brought into intimate association. At all costs, character must show itself to be free and above its circumstances. If a man is the creature of circumstances, we call him a man without character. Changing with all the changing hours, he has no self-identity, and character is that with which we identify a man. Character is vital and vigorous, so far only as it insists on making itself free room for action amid the thronging events, and it dies down as soon as it fails to hold itself aloof and separate from circumstances. Character is the reaction from circumstances. It is the inner movement which encounters and withstands the shock of change in outward things, and it must, therefore, issue from a life that directs itself. Character is made in the constant, habitual, hurried, routine acts of everyday life, that we are being made every minute and we cannot help it. You and I, as we walk and talk, eat and drink, marry and are given in marriage, work and play, go out and come in. So now we know what character is. The question is, why is it important? Both classical and biblical cultures believe that the character of each individual was tied to the health of the society as a whole. The founding fathers argued that the citizenry's commitment to living a life of character was key in the success or failure of the Republican experiment. The steady character of our countrymen, Thomas Jefferson said, is a rock to which we may safely moor. It is the manners and spirit of a people which preserve a republican vigor. A degeneracy in these is a canker which soon eats to the heart of its laws and constitution. The founders rightly saw that without a people of character there could be no trust and justice, and thus no true community or stability, no true pursuit of happiness. The indulgent life is worthless because it cannot connect men and women with the real springs of strength and of power. No strong man was ever made against no resistance. We develop no physical power by putting forth no physical effort. All the strength of life we get by pushing against opposition. We acquire power as we draw out of deep experience and effort. And in our own lives, the easy education does not go easily all the way. There comes a time when, having always indulged ourselves, we can't break the habit. When, never having taken our lives in our hands and reined them into the great ministries of mankind, we discover that we cannot. We find that we obey our caprices, follow any impulse, cannot stick to any task. We do not know a principle when we see it, and have no iron or steel anywhere in our character, and are the riffraff of the world that worthy men and women have to bear along as they go. Our lives and characters are entering into and becoming a part of the lives and characters of those whom we never knew until recently, and their lives and characters are entering into and becoming a part of ours. The composition of their and our character is still in progress. Characters for the success of all. If we mold the strongest of ourselves, it raises everyone with which we come into contact with.